This is Unk with the phone tap. We're here with the Burnouts, the Filthy Goblin, and the Good Smoke. Good smoke. Good smoke, good treats.
Good gosh, let's see.
Fucking warm in here today.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Who decided 80-degree weather in October was a good idea?
I know. I remember as a kid going trick-or-treating and it was snowing out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember some of the colder ones too.
I remember. I'm not even near as old as you, and I remember it snowing out when I was trick or treating. Weather changed real quick up here.
They're having,
Yeah, dude.
In
they're
my
having
lifetime.
cool days in Florida right now. Must be. I don't know.
I remember when we started back to school in New York when I was real little.
The one-room schoolhouse days.
Oh, after that, but we were up to snow up to my knees, and I was a little kid, but we had
Oh
snow.
yeah, I
on
remember
the ground.
the flood of '92. Man, we had to, or '91 or '92, I can't remember. But we had to jump out of the second-story window to get out of our house because the snow blocked the front door.
But I'm sorry. We never introduced him. This is PJ. He is my grow partner. PJ and I are going to talk about what it's like to grow weed with me today.
Howdy.
Yes.
We're gonna run a regular show at the beginning, and Unk's feeling a little under the weather as well. I'm just gonna let these guys take over the second half and tell you about the whole grow operation. But it's Frank's fault. It's
No.
he got everybody sick.
No. I got sick from somebody else.
Yep, that's my fault.
Yeah, and then everybody else got over it real quick, and me and Unc are still fucking sick.
I got
just
over it
started.
like
I feel like I'm the last one.
I think I told you that the other day. You're always the last one to get sick.
I'm always the one that gets it the worst. Always get it the worst.
And you don't even smoke with anybody. Did you smoke your own?
Hey, that don't sound right. That makes me sound like I'm selfish. I smoke with everybody.
No, that's not what I mean, but you roll up your own personal thing. And then you roll up
Yeah, I do
somebody
have
their
my
own personal thing,
Personal
you know.
dab rig as well.
It's not
I
like
did
you,
have a big one, but then
you smoke
somebody...
with people, you just don't smoke after people. How about that?
I smoke skunk with my peeps all day.
It's just he has his preference of how it's smoked.
I smoke the King Palms. They smoke the Bluntvilles. The Bluntvilles
Right.
have tobacco. I don't do tobacco.
I have brought in weed good enough and put it in a Bluntville that he hit it.
Yeah,
last
wasn't that the
podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did make me choke.
Yep.
Definitely made me choke. I'm about to smoke this, what is this called again? I can't say it. It's got too many fucking...
Platinum Monkey Mint Punch. Very good
It
weed.
definitely punches you.
So I smoke anywhere from 7 to 10 grams a day, people. I'm not gonna lie. Smoke a lot of weed. I bought a half ounce of this stuff, and occasionally people smoke with me, but most of the time I smoke my own weed. Well, this shit lasted me 6 fucking days. 6 days on 14 grams. You do the math on that. You know what I'm saying? That's good weed. But got a little bit of it left right now. You know, plenty to give away.
Well, here, I'm about to put this little bit in your dish, because...
Oh, look at that. Hell yeah. I got some Trinity over here. It's actually from the same grower. He didn't have that in bulk, though, so I just picked up a little bit, you know. Had to get some of that. That's fucking amazing stuff.
By the way, the card that I just used to scoop that up with is a local business as well. Sparkle Clean, personal laundry service, or you can go do your laundry there. I have them do my laundry. It's actually, she's a really nice lady over there. And with the card, you can receive 20% off your first order.
You know what else you can do with the card? can scoop weed off a desk.
That's what I
with a
said.
Real
That's why I just
Yeah.
brought it up.
Yeah. So any stoner out there that needs a business card, you could scoop weed off your desk with it, and then get 20% off your laundry with the same
And
card.
then she'll say, "Hey, this smells like weed."
Right.
But they're open Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 to 4, Tuesday, Thursday, 8 to 12, and then 3 to 6 to do your personal laundry. I think they're open different hours to do it yourself. But I definitely, actually, she's a really nice lady. She gave me I have a hideaway bed in my apartment, and the mattress that I had for it got ripped. It wasn't even that old, but it got ripped, and I was telling her the story, and she was like, "Oh, I got one of those just laying around my house. It's also brand new, still in the plastic." So she brought it down to the shop, which was really nice of her. So I have a new mattress for my hideaway bed.
Yeah.
I can't think of her name right now for the life of me, but she's the only one that works in there. So when you go in, just tell her that you heard it on the podcast. I told her that we'd be mentioning her today. So very nice lady. I've actually got a few people down there doing their laundry now, so it's very cheap too. She goes by the weight, and then. So make sure your clothes are dry when you take them there. If you have a wet towel, dry that shit out before you take it, or you're gonna get charged that weight. But I do once a week, and it's usually. It depends on if I put my dog's blankets in there or my own blankets in there.
What's it run you?
It's usually, I've never paid over $50. I think once it was $47. So, and I of course I always tip. So, but that was one, like, I did my whole comforter set and all that shit.
So you mean I could probably take mine, my wife's, and my kids down there for probably about $50-$75 once a week?
Yeah, and then that first time, what she does is she takes it off. She'll tell you what it would be without the discount, and then she'll put the discount, the 20% off on there, so you'll see what it would, you have a rough estimate of what it would normally be for the week. So she's really good about that. She hangs my shirts, which is a really cool thing. I always hang my shirts and put them in all my shirts. So it's great. Check it out down there.
I'm gonna go check it out. I hate doing laundry.
That's
oh my god.
That's where I always go to do laundry.
Oh, you go there
I
tme
just like doing laundry.
No, he actually
I
uses
don't mind
the
it
laundromat.
if I
What
don't
are the
have
hours of
anything else to
laundromat?
do.
Fuck me. I want to say it's 7 to 9 is when you can do laundry.
So you can
It
actually go
closes
do
at,
your own
10,
laundry.
But there's
7
a
to 9.
cutoff point last
Yeah,
load, 9.
last load 9. Something
She
like that.
also, you'll know if she's there. She drives the yellow Jeep Wrangler if it's outside.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't think
She's
of her
the
name.
owner, isn't she?
I don't know.
No.
She just works
I
there.
think Parmeters is maybe the owner. I could be wrong. I don't know. Our landlord might be the owner, but I know he's an owner of one of them, so I don't know if it's a...
It's either the one down here or the one down near the
Yeah,
square.
but it must be some kind of franchise thing, you know what I mean? I know
Yeah, it could be.
people buy laundromats and stuff. I've actually heard that's one of the best ways to start out if you want to own a business. First is to do a laundromat or a car wash,
Really?
because some of the water gets recycled and stuff. With the chemicals in there, it's not as expensive to run, the car wash. I think it goes through a system and it cleans all the dirt and shit out, and
Maintenance costs are low.
Yeah.
that too.
Okay. So, moving on. I'm
Stoned.
still hoping to see the Habits guy. What was his name? I
Corey.
forgot. Corey. Yeah, I'm still hoping to see him. I'd love to get him on this podcast. I love that shop down there.
No, he's probably not coming every day. I'll just keep reminding him, man. I know how it is to be an owner.
Yeah. I love his shop down there, but he's a really cool guy, and I think he would do good on this show. And not to mention, I've been buying stuff off him a long time. I'd like to get him high as fuck. Just saying. Not like, I haven't been buying weed off him. Sorry, let me be more specific on that. He sells glass pieces and everything down to Habits, you know? He sells really, really good quality glass. And some of it's really intricate. And I'd like to see him hit out of one of his nice, really big bongs that I bought. You know what I mean? That'd be pretty cool.
I think we've all bought something down there.
Oh, yeah, we've all bought shit at Habits. It's quality glass. Oh, except for Rob. Sorry. Rob's gotten a piece from Habits. I think I gave him one once. Pretty sure, like a bowl or something, maybe.
He don't let me go to
I
Habits.
remember.
He likes to see me keep some money out of my check, you know? Because I go in there, I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah. But.
Oh, I like
anyway.
that bong. You don't smoke bongs. I don't care. I just think it looks cool.
I like the way it looks.
I already got a good spot on the coffee table for it.
If somebody comes over, they can hit that.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, it's a community bong.
That's it.
Yeah.
Alcohol wipes are sitting next to it because you don't know who was there before you. Yeah!
Back
Sorry.
in the day, we called them octopuses because they had the 8 hoses coming
Oh, that's a
out.
hookah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a hookah.
And yes, you did have to have a blowtorch to actually
Light it, yeah.
light it up because mine held up to a quarter pound. And you could also take it down
It was
with
like
one
a bowl like
hose
this big?
and only pack a normal sized hose right down in the bottom, and one person could smoke off of it. But
I guess I'm sorry, I
it's
was
awesome. to
daydreaming.
get-
You guys talking about a hookah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was showing Dan. I don't know if you saw the ones that are.
Yo, can we get one for this?
I
Like
think
at
we
least a
should.
4-hose one?
I just think we should shop around a little bit. Like,
We can go online and whatnot.
I don't think that we should necessarily go for cheap
Right.
because you
Should
do
we
get what
buy
you pay
from
for. But I
either
don't also
Habits?
want to spend a fortune on it either.
Should we buy from either Habits or Sean's, seeing as how we mention them a lot?
Well, let's see if maybe Corey has one that maybe he wants to donate, or maybe he has one at his house that he doesn't smoke out of it. We could,
Or maybe he has one that he can give us a deal on, like his
or
cost.
that too. That's what I was getting at as
Yeah.
well. I'm definitely not the one that expects anything for free.
I understand. No, but I'm just saying, like, you know, bring it down to the podcast and be like, you know, we'll use it for the first time with him, and then we'll pay him whatever he paid for it to keep it. You know what I
Maybe
mean?
that's an incentive to get him here. Actually,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you
we'll
go.
buy a hookah. You come on in and smoke it with us on our first time.
Yeah. Pick out. You got to bring in. What do you think? 4
We'll even
hose?
have you sign it.
Yeah. What do you think? A 4 hose hookah at least?
Yeah, I
Minimum.
think the ones that are down at that convenience store, I think they
They're
only
only
have
one.
2.
Well,
Well,
if you,
one of them's 2. I don't know that for sure.
There's
I saw
one that
it.
has 2.
There's one that has
But
2.
most of them's only a single hose hookah, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Well,
A hookah's meant to be
I
shared.
saw that pig
You ought
one,
to
man.
get
That
the
was
one
pretty
with
cool.
the-
I thought it was
as
plastic, but
possible.
it's actually glass.
Because
Did you
usually
see that
every
down
one of
there?
them's
It's a
got their own
pig.
shut-off valve. So
Looks like a
Oh,
piggy
you want the
bank.
boxes?
Yeah, one of the
Yeah,
boxes.
yeah, I saw
all the
that.
way up.
Yeah, I can't remember if that one was 1 or 2 or not, but I thought it was. At first, I looked at it, I'm like, this is fucking plastic, and I knocked on it, and it wasn't plastic.
No. Well, what I'm saying is we need a minimum of 4 hoses, because there's going to be the 3 of us and at least one guest sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So we need 4 hoses. We should probably get like a 6 hose one. You know? I'm not saying PJ will hit it. He's got a problem with water.
Yeah.
PJ gets a little congested here when he smokes through water bongs.
If anybody decides to clean out a bong, dry the stuff in the microwave and repack it in there, if you're gonna hand it to somebody, let them know that's what they're about to hit, not have them hit it like they think they're getting some fresh green. Yeah,
Who the hell did that to you, buddy?
my brother.
Oh, Lord.
He said he woke me up and said, so I hadn't found any good weed in a couple of weeks, and I said, yeah, so I went to hit his bong, and ever since then, anything
Oh,
with vapors, I
man.
get a cough for like 3 months.
I remember the first extreme high that I had was smoking bong resin. I was actually on my way to a church youth group with 3 other kids that smoked with me that were on their way to a church youth group. let's say that we almost got kicked out of the youth group that day.
I can see that.
Yeah, it was, oh man, I just remember walking home afterwards down the side of the highway. It's not even a church anymore. It's that one up on the way to Sheddon's on the left-hand side before you hit the border.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about? Someone
Yeah.
just lives there now. It was just like a little white church.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah.
I always wondered if that was a church.
Yeah, it was. That's where Dan's mom and dad got married, was that church.
Now it's somebody's house. They stopped by. Fucking his dad stopped by. I married my first wife here. You mind if I check it out? Motherfucker, I'm having a barbecue.
At that time, my mom had worked for the Chemung County Transit too, and instead of a limousine, they got picked up by the trolley.
Oh shit. Oh shit. That's hilarious.
Yeah, good times.
Shit. Oh no. You broke his other hand?
No, Gabby did. I gave it to her.
Oh, we're gonna have to get Gary in here. Or
No,
wait,
I
not
just
Gary.
gave it to her.
Gary, what's your friend's name?
Gary. Actually, it's a good time to talk about Gary.
Gary.
We used to call him Ears because he's got really big spacers in his ears, and he likes
Like,
eyeballs. So he tattooed 2 eyeballs underneath the spacers. So when he doesn't have the spacers in, you look through his ear and you see eyeballs.
It's interesting.
So, he also used to have a smile piercing from one side of his face all the way around, pierced. He also used to do the freak show at Lando's, and he was what the heck did they call him? I don't know what they called him, but he used to get money stapled to him. Like, the more money you had, the closer you could get to the head. If you did a head, you had, maybe it was like $50 to staple the head, but 20 to get him in the chest. He also hung from his skin and shit like that.
really?
But if you know him, he's the don't judge a book by his cover kind of guy. Like, he's like one of the sweetest, awesomest dudes I ever met. He'll do anything for you.
He's a really good artist.
Really good artist. I was about to say that. Most of the artwork that's up in my house is from him. I like mushroom paintings and things like that, so he makes me a lot of different mushroom paintings. He also does...
Question about that.
Yes.
Speaking of the mushroom paintings, can you get him to do a mushroom painting in the exact same style that he does it in, only in neon colors, so we can put it under a black light and it'd be trippy as fuck?
Well, he said that you'd want to have the glow-in-the-dark paint when you do that. It's better.
Get him to do that.
I have to buy him the paint.
Please.
Just came in and brought me a new painting the other day and a new Deadpool statue. He makes Deadpool statues with his 3D printer and paints them for me. And I mean, he's not my favorite superhero, but he's one of my favorite Marvel characters.
He made a Cthulhu statue, which our resident filthy goblin really likes.
I don't really know what that is, but I'm sure some of you do.
Oh, I
Want
know
to explain it
exactly
real
what
quick,
that is.
Rob?
That's from The Twisted Mind of H.P. Lovecraft. He was a writer in the 1920s. Basically 80% of modern horror is from what he did.
And that's the picture of the guy on your desk as
That's
well
it.
here. Yep.
That's Mr. Lovecraft. He's been a big influence. Big
Kind
fan
of looks
his
like a
work.
penis with ears, if you guys are wondering what he looks like.
A little bit, yeah. But that was kind of everybody in the 1920s, wasn't it? Every
Comb
guy.
over haircut.
Honestly, I've been sitting here
He's probably like
thinking,
13
I'm
in
trying
that
to
picture.
think. There's a metal musician, or at least a heavy rock musician that
I
looks
thought
like
it was
him.
the guy
Oh,
that
I
did
would
the
be
opening on the original Twilight Zone movie.
Oh, right.
Rod Sterling.
No, but
Yeah.
the guy who did the original openings on the Twilight movies, they
Actually-
actually dressed him like Lovecraft on purpose.
Fun fact, Rod Serling's actually from Ithaca.
He
Oh,
is,
okay.
and went to Ithaca
Yep.
College.
No?
He's another underrated writer, but he was a
Underrated.
massive influence.
Oh yeah, we
really
brought up
good.
Hal Roach. Remember, he is the Little Rascals guy, and
You made the Little Rascals?
the Three Stooges.
And the Three Stooges. No shit. So we got a couple of local celebrities buried in there. You might want to go check out that ghost walk we were talking about last week.
Yeah.
Or not last week, it was 2 days ago. Sorry.
Last episode.
Last episode.
No.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it was 2 episodes ago.
Was it
No,
2 episodes?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. We smoke a lot of weed, guys. It's in one of these last episodes we did. I'm sorry.
Rob, and in all fairness, you need to keep that reminder on that remark from Frank, you know, because so him and Uncle down neck and neck.
You know what I've always wanted to do? I want to leave a roach on top of Hal E. Roach.
Yeah,
Oh,
Just
I
to
was
say I left a
talking
roach
to-
for roach.
all
You
right.
know what I'm saying?
Anyways,
We go
back to
smoke
Gary.
one.
Gary is, I'm sure he would do any kind of paintings. He does owls. He does. I mean, he's really good with his paintings.
Who?
Gary
Oh, okay. Sorry.
and Sav. Sav is also good with paintings
Dad
and,
joke of the
and
day.
drawing. Oh, I'm almost ready to get out of here.
I think we're gonna take a quick break. Unk's not looking too good, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he needs a dab and a beer.
A
I'm
beer.
Kidding. I'm
No
kidding.
beer
Unk
for
doesn't drink. None of us actually drink. Alcohol is bad for you.
Because
Alcohol's
But we smoke a lot of weed.
And that's good for you.
Lot of weed. You want to smoke some weed?
Just keeping it natural, all natural.
And,
All right,
like I
guys.
said, we'll be back with PJ and Good Smoke. Tell you about some growing techniques and such. I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.
Treats exclusively at Buds and Studs, 2119 Grand Central Avenue in Horseheads, the area's premier adult gift shop. Treats, the munchies that give you munchies.
Alright, welcome back to the phone tap, everybody. I'm Good Smoke here with Filthy Goblin and our good buddy PJ, my grow partner. Unk was under the weather tonight, so I'm going to finish out the episode for him. We're going to segue into talking about my side gig, if you will. I'm trying to spread my knowledge of marijuana around. I know it's not as extensive as some people's. I've learned a lot from some people that have come in recently. But what little I do know, I can offer to people and hopefully get them growing, get them producing their own smoke, so that way they can self-medicate, self-regulate, don't have to rely on somebody like myself to grow them bud, don't have to get a caretaker by the state to grow bud. But anyway, if you do need a caretaker or somebody, finding a close friend or relative, somebody who you trust, is definitely something you'd want to talk about. And that brings me to my next point. PJ, like I said, is here with us. How you doing, PJ?
Howdy.
So PJ and I grow together, and I figured I'd have him on today to kind of explain how I grow and whatnot, kind of tell you what it's like working with me and whatnot, so you get a good picture of what to expect when you, I guess, hire my services and whatnot to help you get started and get into it and really get going, growing your own weed. PJ is uniquely, sorry, I've been smoking a lot of weed today, uniquely qualified to explain the ins and outs of how I work, if you will. But PJ is a good example of what I mentioned earlier, a caretaker. He has health issues, can't exactly maintain plants 100% the way you'd like to, so
Amen on that.
yeah, I kind of took over on that for him. I help him out, help grow his weed for him, so that way. How much money do you save every month, do you figure?
Holy cow. Yeah, you're looking, I'm close to $500 at least
Every month?
every month.
Are you sure? Does
Yeah.
that include your cost of what it costs you to actually grow the pot that we grow?
Oh, that's what I would normally spend out.
Okay, so you
So I'm
normally
saving
spend
my
$500
money,
a
and
month.
I still keep it more than what I need.
Yeah, so could you, roughly how much do you spend a month now growing your weed?
I don't, unless I see something special, and
So you don't spend any money on what you grow.
Not anymore. No.
It basically,
Pays for itself.
yeah, people donate to your grow and whatnot.
That and just
Occasionally.
what money I save from what I used to
that's
spend.
that's what I'm talking about.
It's
How much do
definitely
you
worth it.
pay, like, for, say, nutrients and dirt? Like, about like 30, 40 bucks a month?
If that.
Alright, and then electricity is probably about 50 bucks a month,
Yeah.
roughly.
Yeah.
Alright,
And-
so you're saving $400 a month is
Yeah.
what you're saying, basically.
Yeah. Pretty much $500 a month.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're saving 80%.
Oh, yeah.
80% of what you used
Easily.
to spend.
Easily.
Yeah, so I'm talking, and anybody can do this after they learn how.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm old school. People I learned from were older and more backwoodsy than I am, but the different technologies that this next generation has at their disposal and knows about, all of ours was guesswork back in the day. And when I met Frank, I normally don't talk to people that much younger than me to start with, but his knowledge kind of what he knew about already, and then the things that he knows that I never even heard of. I mean, I'm one of them people that's used to praying that the weather breaks during the spring so you can get your stuff in and wait, until October to get any yield from it or anything. And this man does it like clockwork every 3 months, no problem.
I will tell you, though, that from personal experience, the bigger you go, yes, you can supply yourself with more, but the bigger you go, the harder it is. Okay? One thing I've learned is growing a few plants is not always bad. If you can grow a few plants correctly, they can yield you what you need off of a few plants to last you. It's always better to grow one that gives you 10 versus 5 that give you 1.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I know that with me and you, we've seen the yield out of 3 plants that took care of me and you in our own personal for over 3 months each.
Yeah. Yeah, you see now?
And I'm sorry, but you're younger than I am, so I can't keep up with how much weed you smoke a day.
Very true. We're about to have an interruption, everybody. The shop next door is closing, and I'm the only one with the keys because Unc was not feeling very well. So,
That's in the next minute.
yeah, it's going to be in the next minute.
And there it is.
And there it is. Look at that. Like fucking clockwork. Can we get an applause for that? Hang on.
I don't have the sound effects.
No! No!
Yeah, I deserve that one.
Whoa! Yes, alright, everybody.
That one's more fitting.
Yes, we'll be back, and next time we'll have the sound effects queued up.
Yep.
Steve here from Treetop Landscaping. We offer yard work, general labor, and heavy moving. Anything you need, Treetop Landscaping can help. For questions or estimates, call 607-259-2043.
Sorry, had to smoke that one. We're back on the phone tap here. We've got PJ and the Filthy Goblin still. We renamed him Filthy Goblin, by the way. I don't know if we ever explained that. We think Filthy goes better with our whole Filthy Sounds production studio here. So he's going to be the Filthy Goblin instead of the Dirty Goblin. That's Rob, the owner-operator here. He's a good friend of mine, wonderful guy.
I got my little gummy bear.
Yes, he's got his gummy bear, and I'm going to get him higher than fuck before we go home, because it's late night, and we're going to get some recording done finally.
Yep.
Anyway, so we were talking to PJ about what it's like to grow with me, and he was telling us kind of how he was a legacy grower and whatnot. Well, not really a legacy grower, but like, he's grown weed a couple of times since it's been illegal as fuck. You know what I'm saying? and now he's growing weed with me to get a quality product that he doesn't have to pay for. So, to get us back on track, what's it like growing with me? Like, what are my kind of, like, what's my mindset? Like, if I go into a grow with you, am I gonna be overbearing, or?
Since the time I've met you, I met you in the workforce, actually. And your work ethics, I'm a son of a Marine. And that's the attitude he always had through my life. And I mean, you have a work ethic like, for years I thought your generation, we were all doomed. And partially because my children's that generation. But serious, you and your wife, you both have got that work ethic. You know what you want, you're making your life and everything. So I've always liked your work ethic. You're there to do your job and get the best out of what you're doing.
Well, the way I've always looked at it.
You don't go in, I'm going to make bread, just throw some flour in there, you know. When you do your thing, you
know
make
how-
sure you put a little, I guess Mama would have called it a little love into your stuff.
Yeah. So, Rob will like this reference. You know who said it the best, I think? A guy named Paul. He said, whatever you do, you gotta do it well.
Yeah.
Why not? You know what I'm saying? And that is almost a quote. I'm not and that was Wings, I'm pretty sure. Paul
And
McCartney
honestly,
Wings.
that's the philosophy of a lot of people's lives.
Whatever you do, doesn't matter what you do, you gotta do it well. Is that the quote, Rob?
I have no idea.
You don't know the song, Paul McCartney and Wings? Jet, I think it is.
But honestly, why is
Okay,
it?
no, I
What's
don't
the
think it's
reason to
that.
do anything if you ain't going to do it well?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But anyway,
Well, my
that's
grandmother always
even
used to say, if you're going to do something, do it right.
right. But you know, that's the kind of the approach I take to everything. You know, growing weed is no different. You know what I'm saying?
I do one thing at a time. I do it very well, and then I move on.
Yes and no. And again, everybody, this is what you're gonna find working with me. If you do decide to work with me, you cannot just move on in this endeavor. Okay?
Correct.
Because what did I tell you? If you have a problem with your plant, doesn't matter if it starts in the vegetative stage, most likely you're going to have a problem with your plant until it's done. Okay? Like, you can't just move on from a problem like that. Like,
Oh, I meant
A lot
in the
of problems.
steps that you do.
yeah, but I'm saying even with that, some of those steps have to
But
be
you
revisited many times.
Again,
You can't just
you have to
move
put
on,
your love into
you know?
it. You have to
Yeah.
care about it and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I know people personally, I won't bring up their names or anything, because it's like they sell bushes.
It's a bush.
Yeah, they buy them, transport them to a different place, and put their own price on it, and they sell these things. Give it water until it's bought. Nobody's out there checking the levels of all the chemicals in it, not looking it over to see if any damage is being done to it. Insect
That brings me to my next point. Chemicals, heavy metals, yes. I prefer beds. If you are going to grow outside, I prefer you to dig up your ground and plant a bed. Because,
Number one, it helps keep the grass from
yes,
growing as badly, and it's easy
but
to
you don't know what
maintain.
you don't know what kind of heavy metals are in your ground,
Yes,
which gets transferred into your weed. Okay.
true.
Your weed will pick up what's in the ground. You need to build yourself a box in the ground or have a raised bed or something. You don't know what kind of heavy metals are in there. Also, next point, I did grow outside this year. I can personally tell you guys unequivocally, without a doubt, that if you get outdoor bud from anybody this year, you need to look at it with a fine-tooth comb. I had mold on some plants, okay? They went in the burn pit. Not gonna lie, I threw those plants straight in the fire. That's what you should do with your plants too. Don't smoke them, just destroy them. If they have mold, just destroy them. Now I know Uncle disagree with me, and a lot of people disagree with me, and they're right. 99.9% of the time, it's not gonna hurt you. It's that 0.1% of the time that we really don't want to worry about. You know, we don't want to talk about that.
Yeah,
Like
trips to the emergency room, some antibiotics,
Pneumonia.
pneumonia.
You know what I'm saying? And in extreme cases, it's actually been known to kill people.
Diagnosis,
you know, if-
mysterious upper respiratory
Right.
illness.
And you know, say you're a person. A lot of our people that come visit us, and probably a lot of you out there listening that would like to grow your own weed, are, no offense, but you're probably advanced in age and you probably have some underlying health conditions. It's very dangerous for you to smoke that kind of stuff. Someone a bit younger with a good immune system that hasn't, you know, messed their body up a lot, it's probably not going to hurt
Or
you.
as long.
Yeah, or
some
as
of
long
us.
been exposed to this cruel ass world that we live in now, where it's constantly poisoning you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it probably wouldn't hurt somebody with a good immune system. But if you have any sort of compromised immune system, don't smoke your moldy weed. Just throw it in the garbage, burn it.
If
Throw
you're
it in a
growing it,
fucking
believe me,
incinerator.
it ain't worth getting sick over. You got another plant, or you're about to plant some, so you got to go out without maybe a day or two. So
You know, just
you rotate and you keep your
because
idea what you need.
people. I grew a plant that was 8.5 foot around this year, and I put it in a bonfire.
Yes.
So don't tell me about I don't want to lose that much weed. I know how you feel. Get rid of it.
And an old rule of thumb is always planting 3.
Yeah. You got to expect one of them, or at least 2 of them even, are going to be fucked up.
So out of 3, if you can get 1 out of 3, you're doing great for one person. So
A lot of times people don't realize this, but if you're an 1/8 to a quarter smoker a week, a lot of times if you grow indoors and you have yourself on a cycle, you only need to grow 1 plant at a time. Like
truth.
a lot of times you could even get more than what you would need. Like I've been trying to convince Rob, but he doesn't have the space for it. If he could find a space, you know, to grow just 1 plant, he'd never buy weed again. He would grow enough weed that he would never have to buy his own weed, but he doesn't have enough time or space to do it. I understand that, but again, even for somebody like Rob,
I literally don't have the attention span for it.
I know, but even for somebody like you, and I'm not saying you, but somebody like you that doesn't have a lot of space, doesn't have a lot of attention span,
Don't have time on their hand.
don't have time on your hands, okay? I can show you how to do this while spending 5 minutes of your life at it.
It's kind of like the object permanence thing. It doesn't, if it's in the house and it doesn't move, and I have no reason to think about it, it's gonna die.
It does move though. It moves up.
Not like an
and it
animal.
moves out. I know, but that's the way you gotta think about it.
Before it'll start growing up.
I know, but I'm
But
just saying,
that's
if
where
you
your
could get
habit
yourself,
kicks in and says, oh man, I got to check
No,
on that.
I will completely forget about it.
I hear you.
yeah, but I'm just saying, if you could bring yourself to actually commit to growing one, you could get by with 1 plant, and I could show you how to do it in a closet no bigger than a 3x3.
Well, if they're as big as some of the plants you've been growing, then yeah.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like,
Well, we did the figures on just what I smoke. And off of 1 plant.
hang on, before you even do that, we've been growing weed for together 3.5 years. We've
Outdoor
been
and indoor.
partners, right? Something
Yeah.
like that. In that 3.5 years, what was the last time you actually had to buy weed because you didn't have any weed? I'm talking even before it was legal and whatnot, before you could go to the dispensaries. When was the last time you bought weed because you didn't have weed?
Oh, wow. Oh, matter of fact, it ain't that hard. 1 year ago.
1 year ago.
Yeah.
1 year ago in November. So we grew weed. It was a bit of a learning curve for the both of us, if I'll
yes.
admit. I thought I knew more than I did, to be honest with you people. And you know, it's good to be humbled every once in a while because you learn things.
It was good
you know?
to be surprised because we watched some plants do some. We thought we were going to lose everything, and we had 3 plants surprise us and give us a yield that it was crazy.
Sure. Huh. A yield that I don't even want to talk about off of 3 plants
it
because you
was
wouldn't believe it.
That lasted me for 3 months. Just off of that.
And we gave away more than half of it.
Yeah, yes, we did.
Yeah, but fuck, what 3 months off that, and we gave away. I gave some to this old guy that I work with, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to be saying anything. When I say old guy, I mean he was like 71 years old. He was an old guy.
So you're saying the guy could be my older brother. Got it.
He could be your dad, man. He was an old guy. Think about it. If he had you when he was, 18? He would be your dad.
Let's see.
No.
No, he'd be having to be up in his upper 70s
Yeah.
to be.
But,
Yeah,
and,
around that generation.
Yeah, like, I'm not saying anything, but he'd been smoking since.
Yeah.
Right? And I gave him
We're
some
talking
of it.
about he knew Willie Nelson when they went to school.
Probably, like, he'd been smoking. He'd been around the block once or twice, you know what I
Right.
mean? He'd smoke with the best of them, right? And he even told me, he was like, I'm bougie when it comes to my weed, so I'll try it. And that's what he said. And then the next day he came back to me and he goes, yo, brother, what was that? And I said, that's the Gorilla Glue number 4 that I grew. How you like that? And he goes, is there any way I might be able to? Yeah, I'll bring you in another one. I said, yeah, I'll give it to you. Why not? You're a good guy. And he was like, oh my God, I love that. So yeah, I gave him a bag, because he was a really cool guy, you know what I'm saying? And also, I worked with him and he kind of helped me out in the company a little bit. So, one hand washes the other. We all do favors for each other. Why not?
Well, while you were talking about that story, I remember I was supposed to tell you the man I learned a lot off of about this topic and stuff. He is old enough to be my older brother, and I went to talk to him the other day while I had stopped, and I'm known to partake into the treats. So I had picked up something for a relative that come up for a visit in North Carolina, wanted them to try it while he was here. Well, my buddy, he ended up getting 4 squares off of it, and he called me the very next day and said, hey man, I need to know about getting some of that because he has very bad back pains and stuff like that. And he said, dude, it took care of him that whole day. And he wasn't never much for edibles. Because we're old school and that stuff never come out as potent as this stuff does nowadays. Right.
Oh, thanks. Sorry. Distracted.
But
Mom's texting the wife in a group chat for me.
But now your growing technique for the last 3 years, because we had a bad turnout when we first started growing, because we started growing outdoors. And anybody that tells you location, they ain't lying to you, because we went up in a very nice area to good light, good everything. The soil was no good.
Yeah.
And we just had all kinds of problems. Well, Frank here started checking into, hey, let's try to keep it at the house where, at a certain location where we could keep it under watch and see what we're doing wrong with all this. So we started doing the hydroponically. And, Lord, it's been trial and error through the whole thing, but well, we put, like I said, I haven't paid for nothing since last year, and we were still getting, we had some from other growers, but since that day, that harvest right there, no, I ain't paid for nothing.
Yeah. I used to grow straight dirt. To be honest with everybody, I might transition back to dirt. I've honestly seen some promising things lately. My buddy Steve over at Treetop, I gave him some advice and he wanted to grow dirt. And cause it's easier. It's easier to maintain, everybody. You probably won't get the same yields, but it is easier to maintain, easier to take care of. But yes, I'm thinking about going back to dirt. Steve over, he owns Treetop Landscaping Construction. But Big Tall Steve.
Yeah,
Yeah. So.
because I was just thinking I was supposed to talk to him earlier about some work.
Oh yeah, that's right. But anyway.
Back to what you were saying.
So he grew one, you know, because laws and whatnot let us do that now. So he figured, why not grow one, you know? And he grew one, everybody. And I couldn't tell you his exact yields yet, but massive nuggets on it, crystally as hell, and he did it in dirt, you know. And I gave him the advice that I had learned from both growing in dirt and in hydroponics, and I explained to him my pitfalls of dirt, what had happened when I was growing in dirt, why it fucked up. And I told him if he did this would probably be a lot better, you know, because
Filthy Sounds Productions and Studios, your one-stop shop for audio productions. Call 607-377-4160.
Alright guys, we're back on the phone tap here. It's getting kind of late. I kind of rambled a bit. I'm sorry about that, Rob. He's got to get up in the morning. We're gonna get to wrapping this up here in a few minutes. We were talking with PJ about what it was like to grow with me. We've kind of explained my mentality a little bit, not too much. Kind of explained how much money he's saving.
Well, he told it himself when he sat there and said about the mold on these plants. That's his mentality.
Throw it out.
You know, throw it out. He ain't gonna pull that out and share it with anybody and have them get sick because of something he put out. When you do something, you do it right. You do it right the first time, or you throw it out and start over.
You know, just don't do it.
Exactly.
But yeah, so,
But honestly, I don't know anybody else that I would get this involved into a grow system.
And by no means, I'm not trying to get involved with anybody else. I really just want to give you my knowledge not the knowledge, just my knowledge. I don't have the knowledge. I'm trying just like the best of them. You have the knowledge
to the point where you can help people get what they need for what system they want. And if you believe me, if you talk to Frank for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, he'll already know what kind of system you're going to want just by you talking to him about what your daily life is pretty much like. You know, what do you do? How much time are you looking at paying attention to it? How much space do you have? Yeah, space do you have?
How much attention span do you have? Like Rob over here, do you have no attention span where you need a caretaker? Or do you have a little bit of time?
You got somebody like me that I could take care of one plant. But with my health issues and stuff, there's times I go days where I can't go and even look at my babies because of I'm sick or something along that line. And that's where it's great with Frank, because Frank knows his business, gets everything going. He knows all the aspects. from when if you want to start from a seed, we've done it. I've watched him and worked with him, where I'm basically just watching a younger person do this, and he's basically teaching me stuff that I never knew.
I appreciate that, but what I'm saying is we'll get more into depth with this in a later segment. We kind of ran a little over today. We kind of rambled. We're going to get way more in depth with this. We're also, again, I'm going to mention it again. I'm really hoping to have Corey from Habits in here. I'd like to get him in here smoking a hookah with us. You know what I'm saying? A 4-hose hookah, if everybody agrees. 4 or 5 hoses. Throw in maybe some of my weed that I grew, some of this good weed.
Oh, yeah.
Not the stuff that molded, obviously.
No.
That stuff is gone. What I'm saying is you don't have to throw out your plant. Honestly, you don't even have to throw out an entire plant if it molded. You have to look at it. If there's a branch that has mold, cut it out. If that was touching any other branches, most likely you're going to want to cut that shit out. Put it under a microscope. Look at the buds where it would be attached to it. Cut it out.
Now, if you're one of them young people that can get away with it and stuff, and you got that, you don't care about it, by all means, smoke your moldy weed and see what happens. I don't,
it ain't gonna get you high.
Right.
But
really,
anyway,
guys, it ain't even worth
not
smoking.
Worth it.
No.
Yeah. I mean, if you got 1 or 2 nuggets, it's kind of like a tomato plant. If you had 1 or 2 tomatoes towards the bottom that got moldy, you'd probably cut those tomatoes off and maybe the ones on the branch above it just to be safe.
Yeah, but touching it and stuff. Yeah.
But like you've grown tomatoes before, you're not going to throw away an entire tomato plant for just one tomato.
Yeah, 1 tomato rot. You get rid of that tomato and let the rest grow.
It's kind of the same way with weed. It is a crop. It takes maintenance. But we'll get into that.
Let's be serious. You got spiders that get on certain plants and
but
they leave a web. I ain't smoking that.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, we'll get farther into that in a later episode.
No doubt.
We appreciate everybody tuning in. We're gonna end the segment with a new thing that we all decided on. It's gonna go one thing I learned recently. So everybody's gonna give you one thing that they learned recently.
What's that have to pertain to?
Nothing. Just one thing you learned. One thing you learned.
I learned a new signal routing path.
You learned. The Filthy Goblin learned a new signal routing path. Look at that. Nice. BJ, what did you learn?
I hate moving.
One thing you learned, he hates moving. I hear that. I fucking hate moving. Oh my god. It's the worst. I've got to move here in about a month and a half. I'm getting a new apartment myself, but oh well, shit happens. One thing I learned is
as long as when you move, you're moving up, and if the world ain't knocking you down and you're actually moving up, you're getting there.
Yeah, but anyway, one thing I learned today is we can fucking talk.
Yes,
we can ramble on and on and on. I'm sorry about that, people. I didn't even realize how long we'd been today. But anyway, we appreciate you tuning in tonight. We'll be back next week, I believe. I believe this is the last episode of this week. So we'll be back next week with some brand new content, all new stuff. Hopefully new guests for you to hear about what they do. Maybe we'll be presenting you with a couple of events around town. Oh, real quick, right before I go, one thing I'd like to mention is if this gets up and people hear this before the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th of October, you may, no?
Hey, today's the 4th.
Today's the 4th? You don't think it'll go up before the 6th, 7th, or 8th? Oh, well, I'm sorry, people. But anyway.
This is technically episode 6. But
anyway, if anybody hears this, proactively. You can text us and mention about it. Tell us if you had a good time. But today is October 4th. We are going to collectively go to the Harvest Fest that is being hosted at the Trumansburg Fairgrounds. It's going on the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. We're obviously not all going at once. We're probably going to go like one or two of us at a time to check it out. You know, we can't just leave the shop empty. But when we come back next week, we're going to be telling you guys all about it, all about the fun times we had, all about the hopefully stuff we get to smoke. One of the things is everybody's a judge, so hopefully we get to go up there and smoke some exotic shit that people grew. But I'll tell you all about it next time here on the Phone Tap. Thanks for tuning in.